and Happy New Year. It's Jessica Boulton here from Daily Mirror, and I'm here for the first Jess saying of the year. Now, it's been a difficult start for all of us as we're all back in lockdown, and I know people are struggling with homeschooling, or if you're older, just struggling, with every day of just being back in the house. So we've got a very special guest to give us all a bit of a pick-me-up this afternoon, and it's someone who's been in the business for a very, very long time, the one and only Sooty. There he goes, so he's going to be here. I've got my special guests in the background. I went up the attic to get a few of Sooty's fans down, so they're in the background. And here we are. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Jess. It's just brilliant to do this live. It's so good that we're really live because so many things are pre-recorded. We're actually live, and as you can see, it's already a disaster because Sooty's still in bed and he knows he's supposed to be ready for this. He's fast asleep in there, look.
He's so lazy. Is this part of his lockdown routine?
Well, is this what everybody does in lockdown? Is just never get out of bed. But come on, Sooty, we're on now. Jess is here. Everybody's watching. Sooty, I'll just see if we can get him up. He should be getting up any minute. Sooty. He should get up. Hang on. Sooty, come on. Is he missing? Oh,
there you go. Hello, Sooty. We've been waiting for you.
You're live, Sooty.
You are such a naughty bear. Honestly.
I know. Let's get rid of this bed. Come on. Get rid of this bed. Can't believe we have a bed.
So, Sooty, how have you been? Because you were meant to be in Panto right now, weren't you? You should be doing your last shows, and they all got cancelled apart from one.
I know, you're absolutely right, Jess. What's that? Oh, you want to wave to everybody? Oh, I'm sorry about this. All right. It's just waving at everybody. Okay. What's that?
Hello.
Yes, we should have been in the pantomime, and we did have such a ball, didn't we, rehearsing it? You were a big part in it, and then we never got to do it.
Oh.
I know it's like that. We didn't get to do it, did we? No, I know, it was very frustrating, wasn't it, Sooty? But we had a blast rehearsing it with a great cast.
You had Craig Rebel Horwood as the villain because you were in Robin Hood and he was the Sheriff of Nottingham, obviously, wasn't he? What was he like, Sooty?
Well, you're going to spill the beans, Sooty. Go on, you tell them. Well, they can't. He was very frightening. What's that? And we'll tell him. Actually, do you know, he was absolutely fabulous, as he always says. You know, we couldn't believe, because we never really met him. We'd watched him on Strictly, and we'd been on Strictly briefly, and we'd met him. But we thought he'd be a bit rotten like he is on the telly. But what a lovely guy and an amazing talent. He's so funny. He's a brilliant singer, isn't he, Sooty? Hey, you're a brilliant singer, and we know, but he's a brilliant singer. And he made everybody laugh, didn't he? And if only the audience would have got to see him as the Sheriff of Nottingham, they would have had an absolute ball. But fingers crossed, paws crossed, that's it. Paws crossed, we will do it.
We'll do it.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Now, everybody watching, if you've got questions for Sooty, he is ready and waiting to take them. We're going to do them later on in the show, give him a little chance to warm up and tell us a few bits first, but keep sending them in so we've got them ready. Now, Sooty, I know you've got a brand new calendar out, but you have been in the business now for 73 years, which is longer than the other calendar people, Cliff Richard. So how do you stay in shape, Sooty? How do you look so good?
Do you know what's that? Everybody always asks this. They always, well, I mean, I'm not surprised, Sooty, because, I mean, he does look brilliant, and you're absolutely right. 73. 73.
Yeah.
Hello. Looking good. What was that? Yes, we use very good fabric conditioner. That's the that's the key. And what else? Yes, no spin drying. And what's that? Oh yes, and he takes these special Cliff Richard tablets every morning, which what's that? And of course he does lots of exercising, which is very good to keep in shape, don't you? Do jumping. Yeah.
Jumping, yeah, that's very good for you.
And what else? Stretching.
Oh.
Stretching.
Oh, yeah. Well done. I need to do a bit of that.
You can do handstands.
You do handstands. God, you're going to be giving Joe Wicks a run for his money. Show us a handstand.
Show us a handstand. No, you can't do that. Go on, a real one. Right, this is good. Go on, handstand. Here we go. Come on, Sooty, you can do it.
Oh, well done, Sooty.
No,
well
for everybody at home.
I'm going to give him a round of applause. I'm afraid my audience can't.
Be careful. Be careful. Whoa.
Whoa, careful. Oh.
Wow.
That is impressive. That is very impressive. We got a little message here. What an absolute legend from Wendy Payne. Yes, you are, Sooty. Yes, you are. So now, when you've had this amazing career, as we said, because you started in show business in 1948, didn't you, Sooty? So when you were first working with Harry Corbett, then you were working with his son Matthew, and now you're obviously with Richard Cadell there, who you've been with for 22 years. So, spill the beans. Who do you get on best with?
Now remember, Sooty, be very careful because I've got a big hand in what you're about to say. That's a tough question. But well, okay, we're going to answer it properly. We're going to be really sensible, now we?
Answer.
Yes,
tell me what they all like. That's what we really want to know.
Well, of course, and this is true, and that's lovely. You've got a picture of the legend and the creator and Sooty's real daddy, Harry Corbett. I think we're going to have to be honest here. As much as I love doing my job, Harry will always be your dad, and I just consider myself just somebody that's looking after Sooty. But I think nobody will ever be better than Harry, will they, Sooty? I mean, he was the boss. And he created this little fella. I mean, if it wasn't for Harry, he wouldn't be here. And he loved Sooty so much, and Sweep and Sue. He loved them like children. And I think, he was your daddy. I mean, so Harry is the daddy. Absolutely. So we a little salute for Harry Corbett, because if it wasn't for Harry, none of us would be watching this interview 72 years later. How about that?
It's absolutely bonkers, isn't it, Sooty? Bonkers.
Yes,
but,
bonkers.
And I like to think you're the big brother and Harry can be the dad.
Well, something like that. I mean, of course, for me, I mean, what's that? Of course, Matthew, yes. You see, everybody my age, and I'm knocking on a bit, but everybody probably between 28 and 50 something, I'm 52, will remember Matthew. So I always think of Matthew as your daddy, but he was your best friend, one of your best friends.
Oh, Sooty, you're lovely.
Harry used to describe Matthew as one of Sooty's best friend, and I grew up watching Matthew. So for me, it's Matthew Corbett will always be your dad, probably. What's that? And you like me a little bit. Well, that's all right. We've been together for 22 years.
That's so something. At least he likes you a little bit.
He said, he just wished I'd learned to cut my fingernails.
Oh, oh, Sooty, naughty Sooty. No, you've had some amazing highlights in your career, haven't you? Can you tell me about some of your favourite highlights, Sooty, over the time?
Oh, yes. Do you know, it's such a shame, Sooty, you couldn't speak louder, because I feel terrible saying all of these things on your behalf. He's going to tell us now, or rather remind us of, I think, probably Sooty's brush with royalty. Because when Harry Corbett was first presenting it, the royals were all watching as children. And there we have it. Prince Charles invited Sooty and Sweep to his 70th birthday celebrations. And because him and Camilla were both fans of Sooty and Sweep when they were little children. So I think it doesn't get better than that. I mean, how can you get any better than Prince Charles laughing at your jokes, Sooty, and loving every second of it and meeting you? And you know, on that birthday party, thank everyone. There was everybody in the world was there. It was a celebrity who's who. And next morning, the newspapers ran the picture, that very picture. In fact, that's probably where you got it from, your paper. That was the picture that made the headlines, wasn't it, Sooty? So there you are, you're a big star. You
can just see how happy Prince Charles is to meet you. And frankly, you're the bigger star in that picture. We all know that. Now, you had another run-in with royalty in the past, didn't you? I believe when you got your OBE. So we got a little picture of you getting your OBE here. There you are, your little OBE.
Hold that picture. It's such a wonderful picture. So there you've got Matthew Corbett, of course, with his father Harry, and in the middle Sooty, Harry Corbett was presented with an OBE, and a little miniature OBE was given to this little fella here. But it didn't go to plan, did it, Sooty? Because I know, you see, this was how genius this all was. Harry and Sooty, particularly Sooty, I think, could not resist the opportunity. And when Prince Philip came out, show them what you get out. When Prince Philip came round, he got this out. Now, this is his water pistol. And he got the water pistol out, and he absolutely soaked. Get out!
Oh,
Get out!
Sooty, you're not meant to do that, you naughty bear.
Don't do that. He soaked Prince Philip with a water. You're not supposed to do me with it now. I'm sorry about that. Put it away. I'm sorry. Put it.
You
So
know,
Prince Philip.
I bet Prince Philip wasn't happy about that.
But it just shows you the same old joke. 72 years later, we're still doing it.
We're still doing it, and we're still loving it. What? Elliot Bird here says, "Izzy Whizzy, let's get busy." Yes, we will.
Who said that, Jess? Who said that?
Elliot said it. Well, Elliot Bird, we got here. Said it on the screen.
Well,
Izzy Whizzy,
let's get busy.
And everyone, get busy sending in your questions, because we're going to do them all at the end. We're going to have get all your questions in so Sooty can get ready to answer them all and give you his honest opinions. Ask him anything you like. Now, I do believe isn't Sweep coming as well today? Wasn't he meant to be here?
Well, do you know what? This is live, and we do say, what's that? Yes, Sooty, you're right. He is. We do say Sweep's a bit of a sausage brain. Now, we love him very much, but he never gets anything right. And we did tell him, Jess, to be here 4 o'clock sharp, didn't we, Sooty? And no sign of him. I know there's no sign of him. So what we could do is we could go and have a look for him, me and you. Yeah? Okay. Oh, he's gone already. Look at that. Gone already. Okay. So we'll go and look for him. And then maybe he'll pop up. Maybe the audience are ahead of us. Maybe he'll pop up and say hello.
Excellent. We'll go and have a look around the house, because he's got to be somewhere. He knew what time to be on.
So I think the magic spell was happening then. So I'll go and have a look.
Okay.
We'll see if we can find him. I won't be too long.
Okie dokie. We'll see you hopefully shortly.
Sweep, come on, Sweep.
Sweep, where are you? There you are. There you are, Sweep. Hello. Now, Richard's just gone looking for you. Oh, you slept in because you've been up all night binging things on Netflix. You are naughty. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. You're worse than Sooty. I've been asking Sooty all about his highlights from over the 70 years. And I believe you've got a very big highlight sweep that we love watching. What was it? Can you tell me? Oh, yeah. I tell you what, it's lucky I've been learning how to speak sweep on Duolingo, isn't it? During lockdown. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to translate. But what I can tell you, audience, is he's saying that one of his highlights was when he was on Stars in Their Eyes performing with Les and Dorma. Now, I think this might have been a dream in an episode, but let's have a little look. We got a little clip of that? You are fantastic. You are brilliant. I don't know why you haven't got a record deal already, which actually gives me an idea for a little game. Are you up for playing Name That Tune, Sweep? Yeah? You'll play it. Right, everyone at home, if you want to play along, Sweep's going to give us a couple of tunes and we're going to guess what they are. And we do the answers at the end, so you have plenty of time to think about it. And we also want to hear from you if you have a request for Sweep. So get them in quickly, because he's going to do it at the end of these. So you've got maybe a minute to get your requests in the comments, and we'll pick one of our favourites to do. Okay, but first, before that, name the tune. Okay, go on, Sweep. I've got my pen and paper ready. Ooh, that's a toughie. I think I've got it. I'm going to write it down. Okay. Number 2. That one was awesome. I'm pretty sure I've got that one, Sweet. Have you got a third one for us? I've definitely got that one. I'm sure I have. You know, we're going to see if we've got any of the requests from the readers. Are we going to see what have we got there? Oh, we've got one request, and I think I know who this one's from. Sing "Who Let the Dogs Out." I think that's what to say. Do you want me to sing it with you? That was very good, Sweet. Very good indeed. Now, where's Richard? Because he went off looking for you, and he hasn't come back yet. He's going to tell you off when he finds you. People are running all over the house. Richard!
I could hear him somewhere. Did
He's
you find him? I couldn't find him anywhere. I'm so sorry, Jess. I could hear him, but no, we've searched the whole house.
As soon as you left, he went and popped up, didn't he?
Isn't that strange?
It is strange. It is strange, and it was very lucky that I'd learned how to speak a bit of Sweep. Honestly, he's gone off to look for you now. Honestly, we might find each other.
That's very convenient.
It is a little convenience, but we don't know why that is.
No, we don't.
Now, when we were talking about before Sweep interrupted us, then I know we were saying that Sooty has some amazing celeb fans as well, doesn't he? Because not only has he appeared with all these people on the show, but I know that he also has done his own bit of rock and roll himself after Sweep's efforts of singing for us. But Sooty also does a bit of rock and roll, isn't he? He's been on stage with Barry Gibb.
Hey, do you know what he has? Come on, Sooty. I don't know. Can you come up here? There he is. Look, Barry Gibb loves Sooty. Yeah, he's a big fan of yours, isn't he? So you're a big fan of his. Well, of course. So it's amazing how many rock stars love this little bear. Because we've heard Barry Gibb actually say that he grew up watching it. So it's crazy, isn't it? And of course, we mustn't forget Iron Maiden. Have you got that picture?
Iron Maiden, we have got that picture. You're going to show us when Sooty's there. You are, Sooty. You're actually on the drums with Iron Maiden performing on stage at Glastonbury. You do not get more rock and roll than that.
I mean, you've said it. Look at this. Legend, aren't you, Sooty? Take a bow because you do deserve it.
Take a bow. Well done. We are all bowing to you, Sooty. Okay. Now, you've got quite a lot of nice fan mail over the years, I'm sure, haven't you?
We've had some lovely fan mail. Yes. We've had a lovely. People send us lots of gifts, don't they? Somebody knitted and crocheted a real life me, and we've had some cross stitches and some wonderful stuff. And to be honest, Jess, it's all in the other room. And I forgot to bring it in.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. We just wanted to say thank you to the fans for doing that because
and I can't go and get it. Otherwise, he'll have to come with me, and it might go a bit flat. No, honestly, we've had so many generous things from the fans, and it's amazing. Actually, in all seriousness, this little bear has had such an effect on so many people's lives, whether they're young, old, every generation, and. We do have, this is not a plug. I'm going to sort of plug. We have a Facebook page, The Sooty Show, but all the fans send in their pictures of their memories of Sooty, whether they were young, old, and it's just amazing to see how many lives this little fella has touched and just how many wonderful fans there are of all ages from all over the world. And without the fans, then we wouldn't be talking to you, Jess. This little
Exactly. And I remember watching you when I was just little, Sooty. And you know, and my dad has remembers watching you. And in fact, he had a sweep stunt double, because I believe you've had quite a few stunt doubles, haven't you, Sooty, over the years? Because you can't always do all the stunts, because you do some impressive stuff at the same time. So how many have you had?
Well, this is a brilliant fact, actually. I'm so pleased you've asked it, Jess. Yes, they won't believe it, will they? You're going to tell them. They won't hear you. Well, how better do it? There's been over 6,000 stunt doubles.
No.
You're absolutely right. The real Sooty who's here, he can't possibly risk getting dirty or injuring himself.
No.
So when we make the television show or the stage show, just at the last minute, we substitute a stunt double, and then they take all the mess and all the sort of the slapstick, and the real Sooty comes back on once we've done that. So there's been over 6,000 in its time.
Well, that just shows that's how hardworking you are, Sooty, that you've had over 6,000. I think with some of them from very early on, aren't they?
Well,
haven't you?
You're absolutely right, Jess. And this is a real first. So I'm going to put Sooty down a minute. If you just go down a minute, because I can't. That's it. Because I can't just get that. Because I have him here. Now this is lovely. This is a really wonderful thing. When Harry Corbett first started working at the BBC, and Sooty was very first on television, Harry, at the end of the series, gave the director of that series, Trevor Hill, the famous stunt double. And Trevor, who is now an amazing man, still very, very, very much with us, but well into his 90s, gave this to me. And this is what we believe to be the oldest surviving Sooty stunt double. And this is a real blast from the past. So any of your older viewers who watched Harry in the very early days might remember Sooty looking a little bit like this. Come on up.
Hello.
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 Hello. And this is how about that? And we look after you, don't we, Sooty? Because you're a little bit old now, aren't you? You really are. And he's a little bit frayed around the edges. But this is one of the very first stunt doubles. The real Sooty's just down there, of course. But this is one of the very first stunt doubles. And here he is. Isn't he charming?
He is charming. He is charming. And you obviously look after him really carefully. Like, where does he spend most of his days?
Well, he's in my house. He's in my little office. And he's in a little glass case. And I have to say that I very rarely do what I'm doing now, and ever allow him to come out, because I feel like almost like I shouldn't be, because this was Harry's. So I feel quite almost a little bit intrusive, really. But I think it's an amazing thing, and I treasure and cherish it. I cried my eyes out when Trevor gave me this. He just stay in the family, as it were, and here he is. So it's a very rare appearance from what we believe is the oldest surviving. There are quite a few old ones that are stunt doubles, but this dates to the very, very first time Sooty was on television. So there he is. Say goodbye to lovely Jess and all your fans.
Thank you ever so much for coming and joining us. Thank you.
All the 60s watching, you know who you are. All the 70s, maybe. Little wave, and you've done very well. So now you're going to have a lie down, because it's a little bit old these days, so we have to have a little rest.
Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Not until you can get yourself the vaccine. Well,
maybe.
Oh, bless him.
He's back. The naughty one's back.
Hello, you're back. You're back. You're just stunt double. That's funny.
You've changed a bit, hasn't he, over the years? So you've got a bit brighter, and you've got a bit sort of it's all a bit softer now, aren't you?
You're a little bit softer. It's all that fabric conditioner you've been using.
You're right. Yes.
Now, remember, everyone, keep your questions coming in. We are asking them. We're going to ask them all together at the end, so Sooty has a chance to listen to them all properly. But in the meantime, big question: where's Sue?
Oh, that's a bit awkward. You've had Sweep. I've only got 2 hands, so you're not getting Sue. I thought she
was just in another bubble.
Where is Sue? Yes, you're right, Jess. She is in another bubble. Actually, before this, back at Christmas, she popped over to Australia. She has a cousin called Sula. So she went to Australia, and she's been stuck there ever since. But she's in great company with her cousin Sula. And she's going to come back and see us in time for our new show. So no worries. Sue's having a great time. In fact, I think she did quite well to get to Australia because they're pretty okay over there. They're not. So I think it was a good move from our Sue there. But she sends her love to everybody watching.
And it meant she didn't have to be in lockdown with Sooty being a little bit annoying for her all the time and playing jokes on her.
What's that, Sooty? Oh, he said, can we talk about the magic wand? Well, no, we can't talk about the magic wand, the magic spell. He wants to show you what he's been doing in lockdown, though. Because we've been learning new skills, haven't we? Come on up, Sooty. Now, look at this. Bring this up here. Now, this Sooty's had for a very long time, haven't you, Sooty? This is his xylophone, but he's never really learned to play it properly. So he thought that during lockdown, and this is advice to everybody else, if you've got something like a game or a musical instrument you haven't ever sort of explored, this is the time. This is the time. Just talking. This is the time to do that, please. This is the time. Now, this is the time to. Oh, that'll do. This is the time to enjoy it. So, what else have you been doing? Yes, you've also been learning. He's been learning to tap dance as well.
Have you?
Well, it all started. It all started when we were invited on to Strictly, and yes, we were on Strictly, and we Oh, you've got the picture.
There you are, Claudia.
You've got the picture. That's amazing. Well, we were invited on to Strictly, and Sooty had never seen so much dancing before. Yeah, you're right. So you've not really got the legs for dancing, have you? So he was always kind of a bit sort of at a disadvantage. But he decided to spend this lockdown learning how to tap dance, which is technically one of the most difficult and challenging types of dancing. So, do you want a demonstration? You want to do a demonstration right now?
Oh, I'd love a demonstration.
Do you want a demonstration now, Jess? Really?
Yes, I would. First, Laura's on the screen saying she needs to hunt down one of those xylophones for her collection, so she's going to get one.
Let me tell you, Laura, let me just reach over. Look at this. Laura, go on eBay.
Oh, wow.
This is what the box looks like. You can still get them. This is Harry Corbett's original xylophones. They were made and sold in toy shops in the 50s, and it's exactly the one that Harry used. So that's the box. Go on eBay. If you see a box that looks like that, they're not expensive, about 20 quid, something like that. There you go, Laura. You two can be playing along with Sooty. How about that?
Aww.
Right.
Show us your tap dancing, Sooty, because I'm waiting to see it.
I've got the little speaker down here. I've got the little speaker, so I'm going to turn the speaker on then. And do you want me to choose some that music, the tap dancing music? We've had all lockdown. We've had this. Right, you ready? Okay. Put your tap shoes on. Right, okay. Excuse me. I've just got to put these little. That's a lean man. Just putting the little tap shoes on.
It is little shoes on.
That's right. For technical reasons, you can't see that, but
no.
Right, okay. Are you ready? So I'll start the music. Let's turn the. Hang on. We just got to turn the music on. Hang on a minute. We're all live. It's very live. Hang on a minute. We're just turning on the music. Talk amongst yourselves.
We will. We got a little comment here from Bod Bradley saying, "Have I just stumbled across another government briefing?" Well, Bod, I would say that Sooty is probably very well versed on what to say in the government briefings, and would actually be a good addition to the press conferences, and maybe add a little clarity to a few things, I'm sure.
Could be.
Sooty for PM, says Carl Found. I back that one.
Right, here we
go. We got the music.
Ready for the tap dancing?
Yes, they are. Come on.
Oh yes! Come on, let's hear it for Sooty. Come on.
You're really good. Can everyone clap along for Sooty?
That'll do.
That's very hard to do. That is very hard to do. Oh, you better show Craig that. Honestly.
Do you think you'd get some 10s for that? I'd give you a 10 for that. Sooty.
I think you'd get a 10 for that, Sooty. I think we give you one. Joanne Lindsay says that's amazing tap dancing, Sooty. Well done. So yes, well done.
Thank you, Joanne Lindsay.
Do you think you might ever do Strictly, Sooty? Or Maybe not, maybe not. But I know Sue did The Weakest Link. So is there any of those shows you would like to try your hand at?
Try your hand. It's a joke there. What's that? Of course. What, really? Oh, so he says he's a great singer. So he'd like to go on Britain's Got Talent, would you? A great singer. This is the little bear that's not said very much for 70 years, but apparently a very good singer. So watch out, Simon Cowell. Sooty's on his way to sing.
On his way to sing. What are you going to sing, Sooty?
Silent Night.
To be honest, you'll be better than some of them, I'm sure. No offense to anyone.
No, there's oh so quiet. Silence is golden. Keep them coming.
Oh, you got a great set list. Like Madeline Brearley is asking, who would Sooty like to be teamed up with in Strictly? If you were to go on.
Oh, Madeline, that's a really hard one, isn't it, Sooty?
That is a hard one.
I don't know. Well, I suppose that would maybe. I mean, she's been on it. I mean, I have to say that we have one of Sooty's closest friends is the lovely, marvellous Debbie McGee. Do you remember when Debbie was on Strictly?
Yes, she was fantastic on Strictly. They would make a lovely pairing.
And the thing is, I mean, Debbie is much younger than you, I might add, but of course, she looks incredible. So I think that Sooty and Debbie together would be absolute magic, because you've got to remember that Sooty is a magician. Debbie is probably the best magician's assistant in the world. Wouldn't they be incredible? I think it's a lovely idea.
They would be incredible. I can't believe you haven't teamed up with Debbie McGee already for a special show. That would be fantastic. I know you've been on tour a lot, and you were planning tours later this year, or maybe we'll see when it can happen with obviously the whole situation. But what's it like to tour with Sooty and Sweep, Richard? It must be hard work behind the scenes.
Well, actually, it is hard work, because Sooty has lots of demands, because he's a big star. You'd be amazed at the things he asks for. It's like, fish and chips. We have to have fish and chips in the dressing room, don't we? And there's a reason for this. And I'm going to tell them, did you know that Harry Ramsden, the famous fish and chip creator of the Harry Ramsden's fish and chip empire, Harry Ramsden was Harry Corbett's uncle? True fact.
I did not know that.
True fact.
So do you get free fish and chips?
He does. Well, only once at Harry Ramsden. I think they thought we were blagging, but it's true, wasn't it, Sooty? Harry Ramsden, because Harry Corbett grew up above a fish and chip shop. They all had fish and chips in their family, and that's the story of it all. It's an incredible story. So we have to have fish and chips in the dressing room every day to get Sooty in the mood to perform for all the audiences, don't you?
What a diva, Sooty, you are, honestly, but you deserve it, because you are a star. You're an absolute star. Now, I know we've got some questions from our fans and from some of the audience, but just before we do that, I wanted to ask you, Sooty, what ambitions do you have left? Because you've done all sorts. You've been into space.
Yes.
I mean, we've got some nice pictures into space. You've been a detective. I think we've got some lovely pictures. There's you going into space, look.
Oh,
There's you, Dr. Frankenstein.
Creating Frankenstein's monster, that was.
Look at little Sweep. Poor Frankenstein's monster there. Like, we got you as a detective there on the beat.
Yes, there we are.
Solving crimes. I believe you've done a bit of photography. And we've got you down the building site even. So you've done everything.
Yes, that was a fashion shoot, I think, or something we were doing.
I think that was a fashion shoot, and you've done a bit of building. So you've done it. You've tried your hand at everything. You've met so many people. What's next, Sooty?
Oh, well, what would be next, Sooty? I mean, that's a really because you're right, Jess. He's pretty much done everything. I mean, this is an incredible little career, and it's amazing that whatever you seem to do, it still goes on. And do you know what my observation of this is that it's wonderful that 72 years later, this little fella hasn't changed. He's just the same old stuff. And I think that, what's that? Yeah, I agree with you. Sooty says, as long as we can keep going on doing everything he does, that'll be good enough for him. And I think that's a pretty good thing. Is there anything else that you really want to do? And well, that's amazing. Sooty says he'd like to be on television still when he's 100.
When you're 100, I think you will be. I think you will be. That's not far off. That's not far off. And you've got Richard as your right-hand man for a long time to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably won't be around when he's 100, but I mean, I really think he'll still be around because you've got YouTube and all those things now with hours and hours of stuff, and that'll be there forever. I think he will very much be around when he's 100. And won't that be brilliant? Just for children to still be laughing at this little fella, when he's 100. Good, give him another round of applause at home because he is a legend, and I'm the biggest fan of all. I can probably tell. I think he's brilliant.
And I think a knighthood is in order soon. Honestly, you're on the right path, Sooty. So we've got some questions from some of our viewers, and they're all desperate to talk to you. So first up, Ella Rose, does Sooty have a girlfriend? We've all been wondering that about Sue for years.
It's Sue, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's Sue. It is. He's blushing now. Don't blush about it. I mean, Sooty we telling that he's been around for 72 years, but he's like Peter Pan. He's always 5 years old, and Sue is always 6. They just never grow older. So he has got a girlfriend, just like a little boy and a little girl would be boyfriend and girlfriend. And it is Sue, because they're best friends as well as boyfriend and girlfriend. So Ella Rose, there's your answer. It's Sue.
You think by now
we've sent Sue a kiss in Australia. There we are. That's it.
You're dragging your feet about putting a ring on that, Sooty. Honestly, Sue's going to find another bear soon. Anyway, Gillian Bain says, Matthew Bain, aged 4, would love Sooty to say hi to him.
Now, what's that, Sooty? We need the magic wand. He said we need the magic wand because we need a bit of magic wand.
Bit of magic wand.
Bit of Izzy Whizzy. Because we for some reason we couldn't quite get that question, but it was Matthew was asking something.
Matthew Bain, aged 4, would love Sooty and you, I'm sure, which is to say hi to him.
Right. Well, we got that Matthew loves Sooty. That's what we got. And Sooty loves Matthew. Oh, he loves you as well. Oh, that's all. Well, I hope that's what you said. And we love you, Matthew, age 4. Sooty's going to give you a big wave. I hope you're waving back, Matthew, age 4. Ella Rose is waving. How do you know that? Everyone's waving.
Everyone's waving at you. Everyone's waving.
Sooty says the grown-ups seem to be more pleased than to see him than the kids. They're the ones that are waving.
Of course we are, because we all remember you when you were little. Have you still got your magic wand that you want to show us, or you're all right?
No, I think we've passed the magic wand. We're all good.
Okay. Fine. Okay, we've got Kirsty Phillips here is saying, what is your favourite episode of The Sooty Show? Ours is Haunted House.
Oh, that's very nice. What's it? What do you know? That's my favourite episode. Yes, it is. Actually, it's an old episode when Sweep's family come to stay. And all his mum and dad and his brothers all turn up. And that was when Matthew was looking after Sooty. And it's the one I remember when I was a little boy. And it's our favourite, isn't it, Sooty? And so that's our favourite. But we like the haunted house. I was in that one with you, wasn't I? And we had to stay the night in a haunted house. That was a lot of fun.
That must have been scary. Or like Charlie Reynolds says, any plans for Sooty to stream on services such as Netflix and BritBox?
Wow, that's a technical question, Charlie Reynolds. Have we got any pending contracts, Sooty? You would know about this. Currently in negotiations with digital streaming channels.
Ooh,
but you can, of course, yes, you can watch us on ITV Hub. You can watch us on YouTube for free. And what's that? Yes, of course, every day on ITVB. You can see a Sooty episode every single day of the year, 7 days a week. So, Charlie Reynolds, you won't have to pay anything for that. But we have got, actually, I can tell you, because you don't know this, but we are talking to some people, and we're going to do, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be very exciting this year. But, this is the crazy times. So let's imagine crazy times aren't here. Charlie Reynolds, you will not be disappointed by the end of the year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, paws crossed, everything crossed, legs crossed. So there you go.
Fantastic. Oh, Lynn Nicholson is saying, Sooty, please do some magic.
Thanks, Lynn Nicholson. Have you got anything in
Thanks, Lynn Nicholson, because we didn't have the wand handy, but we're going for it now.
It's Lynn Nicholson. Lynn Nicholson. Lynn Nicholson, you've got to say the magic spell with us. All right, everybody knows what it is. Ready, Sooty? Ready? Everybody together. Izzy, Whizzy, let's get busy. That's it. Do some magic. What? Look at that. Completely disappeared.
Oh,
It's incredible. Look, completely
how does
disappeared.
he do it?
Look at
How
that.
does he
Back
do
again.
Ella Rose says, my little girl is screaming with a big smile on her face and she's shouting Sooty. Could he wave to Summer May, age 3, please?
So that was somebody aged 3. The magic wand's still playing tricks.
Summer May, age 3. Can you hear? Are you
So
got
we're
it?
just giving them a wave, are we?
We're giving him a wave. Give him a wave to Summer May.
A little wave and blow a kiss as well. There we are, a little kiss.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, you're right. Do you want to do another spell with the wand?
No, we're all good now.
You're all good. You're all good on that. Okay. And we've got another question coming on my other thing here, saying, where would you like to go on holiday when all the travel restrictions lift?
I'll have a little think. That's a lovely question. Sooty's going to have to think about that. Well, that's a great idea. Actually, Australia, because you did go there once, didn't we? We did go to Australia and we had a lovely time. And Sooty's got some fans in Australia because they did show the television show in Australia as well. And it is a beautiful part of the world. I have family out there as well, and so does Sooty. So I think it would be Australia, which is about as far away from here as you can get. And I think we'd all like to be like there right now, wouldn't we? So good
I think we all would. I think we'd all like this to be all over so we could all go back outside again. But we know we've just got to stick with it for the time being, wear our masks.
Yeah.
Exactly, and be ready. So we've got a little game we wanted to play with you, if you wouldn't mind, Sooty. Now, you may have heard of the game Snog, Marry, Avoid, but we think that might be a little bit old for you, so we're going to do high five, hug, avoid. Now, I'm a showbiz journalist, as you know, so I love a bit of gossip. And you have been around for so long. You have worked with most of the greats in the industry. And I want you to spill the goss by telling me whether they deserve a high five because they're great, a hug or a bear hug because they're brilliant, or whether you would avoid them because you just don't like them very much. Okay, you ready to spill a few little beans?
He's ready.
Yeah? Okie dokie. Number 1 of our stars that we want to ask about, Gordon the Gopher. Oh, that's it. You've disappeared. Is that an avoid? Oh my gosh, something happened with Gordon the Gopher. I wonder what that was.
Yes, he doesn't like small things, so no.
No. He's a bit of a copycat, isn't he, as well? You know, he's taken all your tricks. Miss Piggy is number 2. Woo-hoo.
Oh, she's getting a hug.
Oh, she's getting a hug. I bet she is.
She's
a little bit big for you, though.
Braver than Kermit.
Wait till Sue sees that. Andy Pandy, number 3. Oh, sorry, I apologise. Number 3, we have some other, what looks like some more Muppets. But no,
it's Andy Pandy.
We've now got Andy Pandy again. Apologies, that's my fault. So we got Andy Pandy. Oh, Andy Pandy's a no.
He's avoiding Andy Pandy. Sooty, come on. Look, it's Andy Pandy. We used to like watching Andy Pandy, didn't you? Didn't like it. Why's that? Rubbish. It wasn't. It was lovely. We all like Andy Pandy. He was there at the beginning with you. You've got to remember that. Well, you'll think about it. All right. Going to think about it.
All right. Well, we're going to go, no surprise, through some potential Muppets here. Zig and Zag, who are with somebody else in that picture. No, it's just Zig and Zag from the 90s Big Breakfast.
He's doing a high five.
High five. We like them. They're not as good at singing as you, but they did have a few records. So and now we have Alf. Oh, naughty Alf.
Who's that? It's Alf, isn't it? You remember Alf?
Did you never watch Alf, Sooty?
Don't know who Alf is. You remember Alf? Oh, he's going to avoid him. Doesn't have to avoid. Is that because people, Sooty? They're going to think you're antisocial. Look,
he is.
You remember Alf? I haven't got a clue. Doesn't remember Alf. Well, that's sorry about that, Jess.
Maybe it's because he likes cats. Sooty's a bit kinder to us now.
I remember Alf. Who's that?
Oh, who we got? Roland Rat.
Yes, high five.
High five. You got on with him back in the day, did you?
We loved Roland, didn't you? Yeah, you rap fans. That's right. Rap rapping. You're right. He did do rap rapping, wasn't he? Yeah. Oh,
He did.
We've got moonwalking.
I think I might have an album somewhere. All right, and next we've got Lamb Chop, one for our old ones. Remember, she was a bit saucy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that! It's another hug. It's all the girls, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah, you're a little bit of a naughty bear, aren't you? You very much so.
How could you not love Lamb Chop?
Oh, she's so cute, isn't she? Honestly, look at those eyelashes. Honestly, we got Emu.
Oh, absolutely avoid.
Definitely.
Anyone with any sense would avoid Emu.
Yes, he'd pick out poor Sooty's eyes in a heartbeat, wouldn't he? With that beak.
I'd have to sew them back in again. Come back up here.
We wouldn't want that. And next we got Zippy.
It isn't the pink wimble. Oh look! High five for Zippy. No question.
We like Zippy. He might be a bit chatty, but we like him. And next we've got another saucy one, Lady Penelope from
Lady Penelope. Oh,
ooh.
Hugging again.
If Sue is watching me,
he's on strings. Doesn't matter about that. All right, on strings.
And we got Yoda. Oh, you avoid me. He's on the good side. He's not on the dark side, Sooty.
His ears are too big. What's that got to do with it? Look, he's very nice. He's not having Yoda. He's not having it.
He's going to beat the Empire, Sooty. Honestly, I bet you like Darth Vader, don't you, secretly? And our last one up, we have Zelda from Terrorhawks.
Oh my God, it's Terrorhawks. It's frightening. You know who that is. It's Terror. Don't be like that. What do you want to do? Avoid. Oh, he's gone again. He's avoiding Terror.
We all want to avoid that one. Do you remember that one when we were little? She was a terrifying puppet. All right. So, Sooty, thank you so much for everything that you've done for us today. We have loved having you on. We want to give some answers to our little name the tune earlier with Sweep. Richard, could you give us the answers?
Well, of course, I wouldn't really know what they were, given that I was halfway around the house. But I have a sort of brainwave that Sooty might remember them. I just called to say I love you, says Sooty was the first one. What was the second one, Sooty? We are the champions was the second one.
I got that
third one. Jingle bells. It's not even Christmas. He's a sausage brain. I know he's a sausage, but we had jingle bells apparently in the new year from Sweep.
I got 2 out of 3, so hopefully everyone at home maybe got 3 and did a little bit better than me. But Sooty, you have been an absolute star, and I think you've cheered up a lot of people today whilst we've all been sat in the house. Is it?
Let's give him a clap. Come on, 72 years. Give him a clap. Well done, Sooty. Amazing.
You're an actual star, and you must be feeling.
You a kiss, Jess. He's blowing you a kiss.
Oh, thank you, Sooty. Mwah. Mwah. I'll blow you one back.
Oh, he's fainting now.
Oh, have you got to go back to bed now? Is that it?
I think that's the idea. Because it is that time. You just get tired into bed. And I think we should finish by saying what we always say at the end of every show. And anyone who's watched it, and let's face it, everybody has at some point, will know what the last line of the show is. Can we all do it together? Should we all do it? Right, here we go then. Ready, Sooty? Ready? We say, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. There you go, little fella.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's bye-bye, everybody.
That's
bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.